Still under caution here at Rockingham. They've given one to go as you watch from our steel aerial platform. Steel chainsaws and outdoor equipment. Bringing you these helicopter-mounted shots of the Rock. Here's the way they're running after 26 laps. Already we're into the second caution period of this race. 3 Fords at the front of the field. And 2 Chevrolets. Loy Allen, who also was involved in accidents here in this spring's and last October's race, has taken his car to the garage. Billy Standridge was back on pit road but has rejoined the field and ready to go racing once again. Back under green. Jeff Bodine hauls them off into turn 1. Terry Labonte had a brief look inside Ward Burton, nothing there. And it's a single file restart with all these cars on the lead lap. You're correct that Billy Standridge could also go to the garage.
You know, Mike, usually you can't tell when a racetrack gets so much faster than what it is now, but you can visually see these cars. They're just absolutely flying around this racetrack. They're running in excess of 167 miles an hour at the end of the straightaway here.
Can you imagine how much pressure there are on them tires going through that corner like that? If the driver got to thinking about that, I expect he would back off a little bit.
Here comes Earnhardt under Mark Martin. Gives him room down on the bottom to go. Randy Pemberton.
Well, the update on both Rusty Wallace and Dale Earnhardt as they chase this championship. Rusty Wallace says his car is a little bit loose. First chance they get, they're going to come in, crank around a wedge in it, try and tighten him up a little bit. As far as Earnhardt goes, he said he likes his car quite a bit. They may just mess around with the air pressure in his good years just a little to see if they can make it better. Expect these guys to come in the pits about lap 75 or so if they don't catch a caution around lap 50.
You know, Mike, a long time ago, when the tires were pretty bad, if you had a caution with 30 laps into an event, you'd automatically pull in and get 4 new tires. But the tires are so good now, you just don't have the runoff that you had like a long time ago.
You know, Rick Nash just went by with Derek Cope. He was running.
Made it look easy.
He did.
Look at the hood on that thing. I mean, it is moving around. That's not a paper hood either. That's a metal hood that's moving like that. That's how much air is going over these cars. So aerodynamics anymore on a mile track are just about as important as they used to be at Daytona or a place like that.
What a speed you're running here down the street. You got to be running nearly 180 going into the corner to run 160 mile an hour lap here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was just thinking to say, I've took cars to Daytona. I'm pretty proud of them. It wouldn't run as fast as they're running here at Rockingham now.
Yeah, back then, that's all the faster they run.
Well, you ought to know about it. You're there. Don't start on me about it.
I know the first time I went to Daytona, I stuck my arm out there under the motion to slow down. They had a caution, like I broke my arm. It flew back.
Well, there's the car, the number of which David Pearson made famous, the 21 of the Wood brothers. Morgan Shepherd aboard in 7th place in the Citgo car. When David drove it, it was white with a red roof and gold numerals and Purelator on the side. And they won a lot of races together.
You see Jeff Gordon beginning to get that steering wheel moving a little bit. He's one of the reasons they get in trouble here is they have to do so much steering in the corners. They get the wheels cut real hard to the left, and then they hit the straightaway, and the car kind of unloads on the right rear and makes the back end jump out.
Here's your Napa Field standing update. Napa, we keep America running. Here's how they're running.
You know, just a little bit ago, they said that Buddy Parrott was leaving Rusty Wallace. That is really a surprise to me because what a great team. I know they hate that has to happen, but, you know, in competition, that's one thing you can do to really improve your program is to get somebody like a Buddy Parrott to get everything moving in the right direction.
Let's move up, Buddy, to this battle for third. Derek Cope and Terry Labonte go at it, along with Ward Burton.
Well, you see Terry Labonte right there. He's about like David Pearson. You'll never know how fast that race car is till near the end of the race. He'll sit there and run along in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and places like that, and you'll think he's pretty much out of it, and all of a sudden he'll be leading this thing.
It might be like me. Back when I was running, everybody thought I was laying back, but I was running hard. Of course, we adjusted on the car every pit stop. And I recall back, you know, we was probably the first ones, or the Woods was, to ever start measuring the tires. And that's how sneaky the guys was. They would not let anybody see them measuring the tires. And if I wanted just a little bit of wedge, what they would do is do it in the tire stagger and stuff like that. And nobody never knew we ever changed anything. So that's why everybody thought I was back there laying back, but I just couldn't run no harder.
Paid off with 105 victories, though, in Winston Cup competition for David Pearson. We are 37 laps into the ACDelco 500. We'll be right back. 42 laps complete at Rockingham. Here's the leaderboard and the interval back from Jeff Bodine. Of the top 5 cars, Rick Mast just a quarter-second back. There is a report that perhaps there is trouble developing on Rusty Wallace's car. Here's Randy.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Mike. The guy that reported it was Earnhardt. Of course, he's running behind him back there. Said Rusty was spitting a little water. The 2 team is aware of it. Rusty checked his water temp. It's about 210, which I would speculate, Buddy and Dave, I think that that's acceptable so far. So they're not panicked down here, but they're in a little bit of a discussion in the 2 pits.
Well, 210 is nothing to worry about. When it gets over around 220, 225, that's when you really get nervous. But this early in the race, a lot of times the car will run hotter than it will later on in the race as everything kind of loosens up in there. You can see a little moisture on this camera there on front, though. You can see it on the lens there. They're cleaning it off now, but it had built up a little bit of spray behind Earnhardt there.
Another thing, but don't you think that Earnhardt is kind of wishing Rusty going to pits for a few minutes there?
Well, you know, I'm sure that Earnhardt knows the importance of the day. He would not report something that anybody had going wrong, you know, with this kind of money and everything up for points and all. That's my story.
Yeah, you stick to it. That's one of your stories.
Well, Rusty's running awful well to have any problems right now.
We asked Rusty yesterday, what needs to happen for you to have a chance to overhaul Dale Earnhardt and win this Winston Cup championship?
It's a no-brainer right now, really. I mean, all I can do is go out and run my guts out, run as hard as I can, and hope he has some promise. But I'll tell you what, I never give up. Stuff looking grim right now, and I'm going to really have to stand on it. He's going to have some ungodly, terrible luck.
That water temp has come back down. He called into the crew, says down to 195. So
that's either good or bad. I've had them go up to 260, blow all the water out, and they go back the other way then. But I'm sure there hadn't been enough water out of that car for it to be out of water. He probably moved around in traffic and all and got the car running cooler.
Now, as you know, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. But when it's in a cooling system like this under pressure, that raises the boiling point considerably. So 210 on the gauge would not really be a concern.
Oh, yeah. I've run races where I had 250 on the water and go for a long distance.
I noticed Rusty there is getting under Gordon now. He was running awful close to him, right up behind him. Anytime you run behind somebody like that, naturally you're going to run a little bit harder than you do in front of them, or a lot of times you got to pull out, of course, to the side, you know, and get a little air in it, then it's cool back down. Or pat the throttle, get a lot of gas running through it. That'll also cool it down.
Well, if it goes like it has been going, Earnhardt will pass Gordon here in just a second. He made a pass every time the 2 cars passed. Earnhardt's come right along with him.
Now, I don't see anything on Jeff Gordon's windshield. Not the way that camera is focused out ahead, but it doesn't look like there's any fluid buildup on Gordon's windshield at this point. And Rusty's getting on. He's going after Morgan Shepherd.
Yeah,
makes the pass for 7th.
Morgan just moved over and let him go. I think Morgan knows it's early in the race, so he's not going to panic.
The Wallace moves up to 7th. Earnhardt is 10th. In the chase for the championship, Jeff Bodine leads this race over Rick Mast.
You know, you notice right there, it looked like the moisture still on his windshield, so it could be coming from Earnhardt.
Hard to say at this point.
Well, a while ago you were in-car camera, and that's a roof cam there that actually gets the moisture from the outside, where inside the race car you wouldn't pick up the moisture on the windshield quite as well as you would from the camera on top of the car.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it as the race goes on. Boy, Rick Mast is all over Jeff Bodine.
All over.
You know, we're talking about the point standings, which is great, but these guys right here, like Rick Mast, he hadn't won a Winston Cup race yet, and nothing he'd want to do more than win today, and he has really got the pressure on Jeff Bodine at this moment.
And as we'll show you later, the points pay all the way back to 25th position. So every one of these drivers is likely fighting for a position that's going to mean money in their pocket at season's end. Bodine is 15th in the points. Rick Mast is 18th. Those spots pay pretty well.
They just lapped over Bobby Hamilton. He tore 2 cars, I mean, in half in practice here. And that second car there, they had to see if they had a provisional to get in this race because they just patched it up. So Bobby runs running super good.
Oh, Brett Bodine. And Kenny Bernstein scored.
That could be the moisture that you were seeing a while ago. It might have been just ahead of Rusty because you see Rusty going by there. They were right behind Brett Bodine. He might have been running a little warm beforehand.
I would say that's where it was coming from.
Well, we're going to have a look at it on pit road, but that was a lot of smoke.
You know, Mike, one thing you don't like right here, both those cars got sprayed down really bad when that car started smoking like that, and you got to run that windshield where you can't hardly see out of it, like Jeff Gordon and Earnhardt there. Windshields are not that good after you get sprayed like that.
56 laps complete here at Rockingham. We'll be right back. Tonight at 8:30, Pat Patterson hosts Race Day live from right here at Rockingham with all the highlights from yesterday's 200 and today's 500 on TNN. Battle for the lead, Rick Mast.
He's got it.
Boy, oh boy, that car is hooked up, David. That was a power move there. He just went right to the bottom and right on by.
He just turned right on in and went right on to the bottom and on by.
So Rick Mast takes the lead from Jeff Bodine. Brett Bodine is back in the race. Reported rear end trouble. That was not an engine letting go on the Quaker State Ford. Let's go down to Rick Mast's pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, Mike, Rick Mast has spent his entire Winston Cup career driving for this man, Richard Jackson. You guys have really come on strong this year, Richard, but, man, I don't think I've ever seen your car that strong early on in the race.
No, this car is real strong. It's a car we took to Indy, built for Indy. It ran good up there. We had a little problem up there. Still didn't run good in the race, but it seems to be our best race car.
Nothing like getting that first win here in your home state of North Carolina.
That'd be great.
And not only did that car run well in Indianapolis, he sat on the pole up there, guys. It is an exceptional race car. They say it's the best one they have. This is the best they've got.
Rick Mast has led 6 different races this year and has 2 third-place finishes here in February and Michigan in August.
You know, David, when you have a car that's working like that, it's almost a shame to take the money when they pay you after a race. I mean, I've told the Wood brothers when I was driving with them one time, I said, you know, it's a shame you got to pay me half the money to drive something that good.
Is that what they said?
No. That's what
okay. Jeff Gordon's just gotten past Derek Cope. You're looking for the straight arrow Ford.
You see, Jeff is running a little bit higher. He's not right down on the white line getting in the corner there. He's moving around right now, trying to find a place that car runs good and clean off the corner.